Yo, 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 what up? It's your boy tirelessgolem here with another video. And today we are on, I believe, day 29 of Deluxe EX pack openings. And on this day, I just want to say thank you so much for all the support. We've been having a lot of growth on this channel, which has been really nice. So just wanted to thank everyone for that. There is something I want to talk about while I record. I've started, having conversations during my pack openings, and I think that's been very fruitful. I think we've been having a lot of progress in these discussions, and it also allows me to kind of pass the time while I open up packs, so that we have something to talk about, so that we have something interesting, like a conversation going. So I want to talk today about a person that I've been watching a lot lately, actually, in the last year and a half, couple years. Someone that I consider to be a great YouTuber, a great content creator. And I do apologize because I didn't actually, I haven't asked anyone for permission to make this video. I figured I would just make it since it's largely a positive video. But if anybody wanted me to take it down, I'm more than happy to take the video down, and maybe re-upload this video with a different audio. I want to talk about firstnamebutt. He's a very popular Mario Kaizo streamer, content creator, and something interesting or unfortunate happened to him recently. And I wanted to share this because it's very important. I think it's important. I think it applies not only to the Mario community but also to pretty much every community, every content creator out there, that if this were to go through, if something like this happened and it did not go the way that it should have, it could spell disaster for a lot of content creators, including myself and other people who make content, whether it's Nintendo games like Mario or Pokemon, whether it's any game from any other platform. I think it's important for us to be aware of situations where things happen, and we should expect the right line of the right process to occur. So, without beating around the bush anymore, as I am already, I want to talk about an incident. I want to say a few days ago, this happened where a person, an individual, copyright striked or created a copyright claim, or basically copyright attacked a video from firstnamebutt, claiming that it was theirs. And firstnamebutt, in my opinion, did the right thing, spoke out against it, made a comment about it publicly, saying, this is not right, because it wasn't actually a true copyright infringement, just so you know. So somebody made a copyright infringement via the YouTube platform. It was not a true copyright infringement. It was a situation where somebody was where someone could do something. They did do something. They weren't supposed to do something, but they had the option to do it, and they did do it. And it made me a little bit upset. And I haven't been keeping up to date with all of the events that happened. I did just recently watch all of the content that was related to this incident. And apparently, firstnamebutt, this YouTuber that I do respect a lot, came out and appealed the decision to copyright strike his channel, right? And then that appeal ended up becoming a big headache because I guess the appeal was managed by YouTube's AI algorithm, and AI picked it up thinking that, they were favoring the person who was attacking his channel. And it was very interesting because it went back and forth until finally, firstnamebutt persisted in filing this appeal, saying, this is not right. He had recordings, he had VODs to prove that this was actually his content. And the reason why this was such a big deal is because these were like Super Mario Kaizo hacks. So they're people playing games, versions of Mario that are like very, very fun, original, interesting ways of playing the game. It's not like the official original cartridge games, but it's fun variations that were community made. So this is a community project. It's, you know, obviously it doesn't belong to any individual streamer, the content that was made. And the video that was particularly copyrighted strike was something that First Name Butt made himself. You know, he played the game. He even showed a recording of his. He even had the camera on his hands on the controller, and his face, his reactions to real time gameplay. Like everything was completely genuine, and yet somebody was able to just copyright strike their channel and impose this threat to his content creation. And then what ended up happening was for like I think for a couple days or whatever, he was trying to stream on YouTube. The algorithm was basically hindering his progress. He wasn't getting that many views because of because of the strike or whatever it was. And it was really unfortunate. And I just felt like, you know, it just felt really disheartening to have somebody so happy, so cheerful, making great content that was unilaterally supported by his fan base, by the people that watch him, to have some random person just put a copyright strike because they could do it. Not because there was an actual copyright infringement, but because they could just do it. And that was frustrating. But thankfully, you know, he spoke out against it. He continued to fight the good fight. And YouTube finally, it was managed by a real person, it seems, and the right actions and steps are being taken to rectify the issue. So I thought that was a very good ending to an unfortunate event. I thought that the right steps were taken, and it's so I'm happy to see such a strong content creator come back to YouTube and decide, you know what, YouTube, they rectified the issue, they did all the right things. And you know, part of this, I know that this isn't related, but there seems to be a dichotomy in the community between YouTube and Twitch, where a lot of people who have a YouTube channel also have a Twitch channel. And as you know, and I've mentioned this before, there's been a lot of issues with Twitch, both from a drama level to a, workflow level, in terms of like the algorithm picking up different viewers. The botting issue was a big issue in Twitch. So you had a lot of drama like that, so to speak, right? And then, you know, people complaining of mismanagement, people complaining of various individuals getting rewarded or punished at various discrepancy levels, if that makes any sense. So you got a lot of issues with Twitch that, you know, some people are ignoring, some people are acknowledging. I, for one, am taking a step back and saying, you know what, I'm going to wait for things to settle down. I'll go from there. I mean, right now, every time I stream on Twitch, I don't really get too much of a following. So I actually have been taking a break from Twitch and mainly focusing on YouTube, where there is growth and where there are people watching, and there are viewers, there are subscribers, you know. And I think the other issue for me, you know, personally, is I don't stream regularly. That's the other issue for me. And I can't stream regularly due to my personal life and due to the structure of my life and how my life works, you know. And I can't go into further details about that, but suffice it to say that some people just don't have time to stream on Twitch. Having a regular streaming schedule definitely helps. I cannot have a regular streaming schedule on Twitch, unfortunately. I just can't. There's just no way to do it. So, for better or worse, I've decided to stick to YouTube and focus on YouTube, and it's been working for me just fine. I mean, I'm getting subscribers every day, getting people in the comments, getting likes, and that's all been great. And I do want to say, you know, if you like Mario content, if you enjoy Super Mario Kaizo, highly recommend checking out First Name Butt's channel. I think that him releasing all this information, making it public that, this happened, and fighting the good fight, honestly, has put into perspective a lot of things about YouTube that I like, that I appreciate. That being that there is support. It might take a while because there is an algorithm, there is a process to doing things, but like I say before, when there's a will, there's a way. And if your heart is pure, if you fight the good fight and you are on the right side of history, meaning that you did everything right and someone is just out there to get you for no reason other than just to be an a-hole, just is unfortunate. It is unfortunate. But for the right things to happen, for you to practice due diligence, to go through the regular process, whether it be legal, whether it be bi-legal, whether it be systematic within the system of YouTube, the trusting in the system at this level. I mean, even though things didn't work out at first, I'm happy to see that things ended up working out really well. And I haven't decided what to title this video. I've considered the rise of First Name Butt, considered maybe even whether to mention his name even. But I think it's important that I speak about this because it affects every content creator. And I consider myself a small content creator, right? I have a YouTube channel with 8,000 subscribers. I sleep too late. I have this Tireless Golem channel, which has been, I only started developing this channel within the last year. And it is a small channel, but it's growing steadily. And I feel like part of the reason why I was able to grow, however slow, however fast, was because I uploaded content regularly this year. I made regular uploads. I interacted with my viewers. And I feel like, First Name Butt does that too. First Name Butt uploads regularly. He creates content that's very fun to watch. And, it can be a little disturbing to know that anyone can just click a button and say copyright strike, boom. And he even made a video where he showed what the system looked like, where, you could choose to give somebody 7 days to take down the content, or you can just copyright strike them immediately. And the person attacking his channel decided to invoke the copyright strike immediately without giving him any 7 days of a grace period. So that to me was also, he used the word malicious. And I think that would be a good descriptive word for the events that occurred, because, to not even allow someone the opportunity to have a conversation is unfortunate. So I wanted to share that a little bit because I think it is important. I think it's important for us to have a conversation. Oh, is there going to be a shiny here? I have a feeling there's going to be a shiny. I knew it. I knew there was going to be a shiny. The funny thing is, I made a short about this before, and I think the Wug Trio EX showed up in the same short as well. That's pretty crazy. Well, that's what happens, I guess. But no, seriously, it is interesting. It's an interesting conversation. The fact that anyone can copyright strike your channel if that button shows up that you can copyright them. And First Name Butt did show, demonstrate the amount of different creators that he had the ability to copyright strike because of the nature of Mario Kaizo, that you could copyright strike other players that were playing this game. So I think that that's something that is something we need to all be cognizant about. I think it's something that we all need to be aware of, that, things can happen that can really mess with your rhythm. Things can happen that can be unfortunate. Life happens, right? Things that are unfortunate happen. But there is a system in place for certain things, and there's due process, and I do believe in due process. I believe that if somebody does something bad, there are consequences to doing something bad. If someone does something good, there's a cause and effect, right? I mean, you could call it karma, you could call it whatever you want, but I do feel like, when you do something good for someone, even the sensation of like feeling of goodness, even the feeling of satisfaction is a good consequence of that act of goodness. By the same token, if you commit a crime, then there might be a punishment or a penalty of some sort. That's just the way I think that a lot of the world works. Oh, nice, Lugia EX. Okay, well, we're getting a lot of Lugias. That's pretty good. But I hope that everyone out there who's watching this video understands kind of what I'm talking about. That there is a process to things. It doesn't matter what country you're from, what the system is. I mean, there might be some variations, right? There might be some variations to whatever the system is, but the general system that bad things happen to bad people or bad actions, good things happen to good people or good actions. That that is the kind of, you could consider that to be somewhat of a moral conversation to have, right? A moral debate. Should good things happen to good people? Should bad things happen to bad people? And the truth of the fact of the matter is, the reality is, not always that happens. That's not always the case. It is in a lot of cases, but does it happen in most cases? We only see a small part of the universe. We live a small slice of the world, and so for us to experience our various individuality speaks to kind of like what our background and beliefs are. So where I was raised, we do have like law and order, if that makes any sense, right? So yeah, anyway, I just wanted to have that. Oh, nice, Dialga EX. Okay, cool. We were for a long time, we weren't getting a lot of 2-stars, but it is nice to see some 2-stars in this pack opening. I will say, we were having some immersives. We had one shiny, no crown rares today. Oh gosh, wouldn't it be something if we got a crown rare? But I just wanted to spend today just to talk about First Name Butt, someone that I do personally watch. Whenever I'm out for a walk, whenever I go for exercise, and I want someone to just watch, to vibe to, I watch First Name Butt's videos. I listen to the stuff he says, because he offers some pieces of wisdom in his channel when he talks about things, and the process of like going through a level, being successful. Like, there's so many times where he attempts a level until he finally succeeds, and he does succeed. After, it's like try and try again. If at first you don't succeed, try and try again. And I think that's something that I really enjoy watching, is the whole process of not giving up, and not giving up. I think is a theme across a lot of the things that I watch, that interest me. And that's something that I think people should really take into account. Don't give up, never give up. When there's a will, there's a way. When you want to maintain your YouTube channel, and you do everything you can to make sure people don't attack you, to make sure that people don't, damage your reputation, to make sure that you have your own well-being and that you have your own wellness, I think that fighting for that is a good fight. I think that's a good reason to fight for your own well-being. And YouTube, I could tell, means a lot to him. And having a YouTube channel means a lot to me too. It's something that I do feel is important, to be able to have a hobby. But for him, I mean, I know he probably makes money from this. This is just a hobby for me. Nice, Lily, let's go. This is just a hobby for myself. But who knows? Maybe one day, we'll be able to monetize some of these videos. Maybe one day we will be able to get big, just like First Name Butt. I do see some of these YouTubers, and I think to myself, people make videos a lot. What will it take for me to get to that level, to get to the level of a First Name Butt? It's something interesting to think about, right? Because everybody started somewhere, and you see all these YouTube shorts of small content creators making videos, small content creators working hard to make to do the best that they can be. Small content creators making short after short, making video after video, not not succeeding the first time, not succeeding the second time, or the 100th time, or the 200th time, or the 1,000th time. It's an interesting thing that we should, the humans willfulness to never give up. So I hope that you take that into account. I hope this video finds you all well. I just got my probably last and final professor's research of the video of the series. I'm going to end at 8. I'm giving 6 of them away to my friends. I will not be able to give any professor's researches away to anyone else. I do apologize for that. But I hope you all find this video valuable. I hope you all enjoyed my content. If you do, feel free to subscribe. I make content every day. I make YouTube videos every day. And I don't do it to, attack other people. I don't do it to stir up drama. I only talk about things that I want to talk about, things that I think are interesting, and things that are important. So I don't know if First Name Butt would ever find this video, but if he is watching this, I just want to say, thank you for making content, and I will gladly remove this video if anyone wants me to remove the video. Because, like I said, I try to get away from drama. But if people enjoy drama, maybe I'll make more drama videos. I don't know, but anyway, that's gonna be a wrap for today. I will see you all next time. Peace out.